Konnichiwa. Oh, I'm back.
Whoa! How cultural.
He's back and he's learned a new word.
At least one.
Welcome back to the Foreign Report, your weekly geopolitics show. We give you all the gory details of foreign policy. I am your very curious geopolitical host, Seena Ghaznavi, that I just got back from Japan. Joining us in the studio, as always, is Travis Irvine, Columbia Journalism School grad, and co-CEO of Last Podcast Network, co-host of Last Podcast on the Left, and No Dogs on Space, Marcus Parks!
Woo!
Thank you very much for having me back. I love being on the show. This is so much fun.
In Japanese, thank you is arigato.
Arigato.
Oh, wow. Did you say that to Mr. Roboto?
You know what I said constantly the entire time?
Oh, boy.
Sumimasen, which means I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
That's the most useful.
So many times.
Right. Any language you learn I'm sorry first if you're an American.
Constant.
Yeah.
Dozens of times a
Yeah.
day. Sumimasen.
Yeah. Je suis désolé is French for I'm sorry. So I
Yeah.
got that one down.
And if you extend the end, it's like even more. So it's like sumimasen. That means
really
you like
sorry.
really
You're
mean
really
it.
Sorry.
When I was in Japan, the woman who ran the hotel that we stayed at in Kyoto, she used a translation app. But I don't know what words she used in Japan to refer to me, but every time she referred to me, she always referred to me as the daddy.
Wow. Hello.
Like, does the daddy want more sheets? Does the daddy want breakfast? I don't know why. I mean, it was just
Otosan.
it was just me and Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Cool.
so great.
Yeah.
It was, I'm exhausted, so I'm back. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the banked episodes. Those were really fun to do. Trey was really great to have
Absolutely.
on. But I'm back. We've got a lot of stuff that's happened. Thankfully, no wars have broken out.
That's true. Good job.
Good job.
I'm going to thank you.
I mean, like, devastating wars have continued.
Right.
Starvation.
I notice wars don't happen when you don't predict them a week ahead of time.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
thanks for not.
That's good. Yeah. I was trying not to look at the news, but every now and then I'd look. I'd be like, well, I'm glad
know.
I'm out of the country. Not doing an episode this week. One thing that did come up a lot, guys, was Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
And,
Not the only thing we're talking about.
It's a lot.
and I was thinking, like, can we even cover Jeffrey Epstein on this show? And because, I really do want to make it a geopolitical show. What are the issues that matter to the world?
Sure.
But I found that, yes, this is happening around the world. Here are some news articles. This is from Spiegel in Germany.
Oh.
So this is about the Epstein thing. So
Der
that's
Spiegel,
happening.
please.
So if you're listening on audio, this is a German newspaper website. Okay, and then this is the Italian Esteri. Lo scandalo di Jeffrey Epstein dell'Inizio.
Wow. I don't speak much Italian, but I know what that means.
And this is a picture of Donald Trump, and who is that? Is that Melania? I
That's
don't know.
Melania.
Is
Yeah,
that Melania?
That's
Yes.
Melania, Jeffrey, and Ghislaine.
Oh,
Yes,
God, man.
yes.
By the way, please pardon Ghislaine.
Yeah.
Whole time, but just please. I saw that. I was like, oh, Lord,
Pardon.
please
Oh, here we go.
make my dreams come true.
Love a Ghislaine. Who doesn't love a good Ghislaine?
And then we have Le Monde, Le Monde. Trump says
Oh,
Epstein
Le
stole
Monde.
young women from Mar-a-Lago spa. We'll get to that clip in a little bit
That's
here.
a big one.
Yikes.
And then I did notice, oddly enough, though, that one outlet did not cover it. It was the Mossad Daily Bugle. Nothing.
Oh,
Nothing from
what?
them.
Come
Wow.
on.
Nothing.
Wow, just
Silence.
total silence.
Right.
Silence.
Just a series of question marks, but that's also their motto, I believe. So, holds up.
Unbelievable. So, we are going to cover this just very slightly.
Yes.
And Travis, you read an article about how he had so much money.
Yes, right. Out of Forbes, which is a great read for anyone who can afford to get 1 out of 4 free articles per year from Forbes. But
You've been really waiting.
I've been waiting. Lord knows I love my Forbes, but only once a year. And this was a great article because, as we're going to get into, there's a lot of mystery around Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Oh my God! I mean, it is. I would say one of the most complicated conspiracies of the century. Like,
Yes, that's Marcus Parks talking.
Yeah.
It's something I will 100% say. Like, I know what I don't know. when
Yeah.
it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, and I don't know a lot. This
Well,
thing,
so there's known unknowns, you're saying.
There's many
and unknown
known
unknowns as well.
And then known knowns.
I'm Rumsfelding here. I'm
Wow,
Rumsfelding hard
gone
on
full
Epstein.
Rumsfeld here. Well, I'll try to be as Cheney as possible and know what I know, and that is there's certain financial documents that have been proven, right? Obviously, the lore of Jeffrey Epstein starts at the Dalton School, where he was an unqualified math teacher given a job by future Attorney General William Barr's father. And then from there, he somehow became a trader.
By the way, I just want to say I can't wait to give my sons the job of podcaster.
Yeah, right? Future podcaster. But from there, he somehow became a trader at Bear Stearns.
Yeah.
And from the Bear Stearns job, he was introduced to a billionaire, financial guy, fashion guy out of Central Ohio, which I know a lot about, Les Wexner. And they were introduced in the 1980s. And apparently smitten with Mr. Epstein. He was very charismatic. Les Wexner. They began a financial relationship, potentially more. There is that side of it in the Netflix documentary. Our old buddy, Bob Fitrakis, investigative journalist and perennial progressive candidate in Central Ohio. He's actually in the documentary saying that when Les Wexner started bringing Jeffrey Epstein around in Central Ohio, Jeffrey Epstein was known as the boyfriend.
Ah.
So there could have been more, but there was definitely a financial relationship.
You guys are my boyfriends, though, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I call you guys that all the time. So Les Wexner, for whatever reason, trusts this, again, very charismatic, but not very successful yet trader from Bear Stearns. He trusts him with all of his money, his billions and billions of dollars. And over the course of their financial relationship, according to Forbes from the 1980s, until they severed their relationship in about 2007, $200 million is how much Jeffrey Epstein made off Les Wexner by basically being a financial advisor, someone who controlled his money, his assets. I think he had complete power of attorney at some point in the 90s at the height of Epstein's power. So when you want to look at meteoric financial rise, there's literally one client that Jeffrey Epstein had from the 1980s until 2008 that gave him all of his wealth. And we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. And that was Les Wexner.
And Wexner and Epstein, they're all over Columbus, right?
All over Central Ohio. Les Wexner literally started his own city called New Albany, which is just outside of Columbus, and it's a suburb. Jeffrey Epstein ended up buying a house there for $3.5 million that he probably...
Wow, that's a big house in Ohio.
It's a big... it's a huge house in Ohio, especially in 90s money when he owned it. And there may have been crimes that happened there. That's all in the criminal conspiratorial world of Jeffrey Epstein. But we do know financially he flipped that house, sold it for $8 million by 1998. And then he took all of these finances, and what he did, classic rich person move, he went to the U.S. Virgin Islands and got into those tax havens. And he ended up saving hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes by moving all his businesses and his financials to the U.S. Virgin Islands, where he also, of course, famously bought his islands as well, where, again, more criminal conspiratorial behavior probably took place.
Yes.
Yeah. And we don't know where still don't know. I mean, this is where what we do know of part of his wealth came from.
Yes.
Wexner.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Jeffrey Epstein's wealth and the mystery behind it, and just how this guy did business and how these people do business, how people in these high finance areas do business, that's why I don't believe that there is an Epstein list. Like, I believe that there is evidence, a ton of evidence.
Yes.
I believe that the FBI has a list of people that are mentioned within the evidence, but I don't think that Jeffrey Epstein was stupid enough to have a client list. It's like, you know that scene in The Wire? It's like, are you taking notes on a criminal conspiracy?
Yeah.
Right.
It's that. You know,
Yeah.
that he's not going to have, like, if he truly is, you know, using these sorts of relationships for blackmail, or if he's playing his own game, like if this guy's playing a game, he is playing a cryptic game, and he's making it fun. And it's no fun to have a list of people. You want codes. You want things. You want things hidden within things. You want Russian dolls. Like, that's this whole guy's whole fucking life was a game to see how bad he could make it and to see how much he could just play with the world. This
It's
is a
not
man
going
who
to be an
played with the
Excel
world.
spreadsheet
No.
in a
Right,
folder
right.
called client list.
No.
Right, right.
No, it's not.
Well, and in that vein, that's what Les Wexner did, right? He was a fashion guy. He started Victoria's Secret, the Abercrombie and Fitch, all these clothing brands that involved hot young models. That was the branding from the 80s to the 90s. I grew up in Central Ohio. I remember you couldn't walk by the Abercrombie and Fitch store without seeing hot young teens modeling all of the, and you know, I'm in high school. I applied. I didn't get the job.
Unbelievable.
Probably good that I didn't in hindsight, right? But that was, and you know, that world of again, his only client, Les Wexner. Les Wexner operated in models. There was clearly some connection. And like you said, it could be very clandestine, very hidden. But in terms of if you've got all this money, but then you've got all this access to hot young teen models, when do those lines start to blur in terms of your clients and what you're providing for them?
Yes.
And what I think was interesting to me when I was seeing everything kind of pop up over the last few weeks was like, wait a minute, Jeffrey Epstein, this has been happening for years. This has been going on for years. Like,
Decades,
how did we get here today? And so I went to Google Trends.
As you do.
And I, as a normal person does. And I want to just show you the search, kind of the search results or the search popularity of the term Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, this is interesting.
And you're going to love
very
this.
popular guy.
So just look at this, and then I'm going to tell you what's happened on these dates when you see this happening here. All right. This is in the beginning, so I'm going to try to describe this for the viewers at home. This is the worldwide search popularity for the term Jeffrey Epstein on Google Trends. I didn't get the Bing search results because I'm not a monster.
All right.
But this is Google Trends. Starting with the last 90 days, you can see it's like less than 10%, basically. It's very low. 6, 5, you know, or not a percentage, but it's the score, the popularity score.
Sure.
And then you're going along here. It's like, okay, people are talking about Jeffrey Epstein. It comes up at parties. It comes up every now
Right,
and then.
uh-huh.
And then there's this huge spike. And again, there's this. We go from 4 to 99.
Whoa.
And 100 is the peak. The 100 means it's the most popular something can be. A value of 100 is peak popularity for that term. So
Whoa. And this is global interest.
global interest in the term Jeffrey Epstein on June 6th went to 100. On June 5th, it was 35. So what happened to have all this?
Yeah, what happened?
Elon Musk, guys.
Oh. Damn it. That guy.
We did an episode on their breakup, or at
Yes.
least we talked about it.
Yes.
And the big tweet was June 5th, quote, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT."
Woo.
And then he ended up deleting that tweet.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, buddy, the damage was
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Tweets are forever now.
And that's what started this whole thing, because I was just kind of like, what? How did we get here, right? So
Yeah.
this is where it started, and then it kind of went away, and you could see on the chart here, it goes back down to it's less than 7, 8 levels.
But it's still higher than it was before.
Exactly.
It stays slightly higher, but it stays higher than it was before.
There's
Right.
a low lull still, and then it goes up again to where you see in the last few weeks, it's just catapulted
Up and down,
up to
up and down.
100
Whoa,
again.
yeah.
It goes to 100 recently. And what made it start again on July? Let me just make sure I have the date right. Oh yeah, July 6th is when old Cash Patel and Don Bonnie G
Hey.
came out and said, "Hey, we looked at all the evidence.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see my wife for months.
Okay. Uh-huh. What
My
else didn't
beautiful wife."
What else didn't you see?
He died by suicide.
Oh, okay. What? Wait a minute.
There's nothing here, and we're not going to release the videos. We don't want to re-traumatize anybody.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So
And this has been, prior to all of this in the last few months, in MAGA world, the Epstein conspiracy has been
I
at the
am-
forefront of everything since Epstein, quote unquote, suicided or committed suicide or was suicided in 2019, right?
Even before that, like
Yeah.
the Epstein has been, like, as somebody who's, kind of lives in the world of conspiracy, like Epstein and has been a center of like right-wing conspiracy forever because of Bill Clinton.
Sure.
Come on, guys.
We don't know that.
let's just fucking say it.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton little girls with Jeffrey Epstein. It happened. Let's move on. Let's
Yeah.
admit it. And it
Prince Albert, they're all there.
yeah,
Right.
they're all
Andrew, Albert is very different.
Yeah.
Albert just
Prince-
plays chess by
I'm
himself.
jet lagged.
Prince Andrew probably has a Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, yes.
But yes, I mean, Bill Clinton is, of course, he's right in the middle of all this. There's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of Democrats right in the middle of all this. Prosecute every single one of those motherfuckers.
100%.
Every single one of them. But the point is that was what Epstein was for the longest time, is that he was part of the Clintons are evil web of conspiracy that
right.
included Vince Foster and what was the real estate deal? Not Watergate.
Whitewater.
Whitewater in
yeah.
Arkansas, yeah.
All of that stuff, like, Epstein was a part of the evil Clinton conspiracy
Right,
web,
right.
And really, like, QAnon built off of that.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of because that's every great conspiracy. There's a little bit of truth to it. Like,
Yeah.
you have to start with some nugget of truth, and that was the nugget of truth that QAnon started with, and they added that to the Podesta emails, the spirit cooking. You put all these things together and you get QAnon. So it really has been. Epstein has been at the center of this from the beginning, from the very, very beginning. So now at this point, for Trump to do an about face on this conspiracy on Epstein, it negates everything. It negates everything.
Right, because Epstein was first brought in. I mean, obviously, he got in trouble in 2008 with the state of Florida,
Right.
which he had to settle and got a very sweet plea deal.
Yeah, and who was in charge then?
It was an
Future-
attorney named Alex Acosta, I
Yeah,
believe.
It would be the
Secretary of Labor under
Yeah.
Trump.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's everybody. It's everybody. It all goes straight to the top, folks. But here's the thing also is that, and back to your thoughts on MAGA world, making the Epstein the centerpiece, right, of their Thanksgiving cornucopia dinner. Epstein was brought in on charges the second time under Trump, and he died in a federal prison under Trump's watch, as well as William Barr. So that's where, again, you're just like, in Trump world, they were handling it, and then something happened where it all spiraled out of control.
Yeah, it's because it really is center. The reason why, like, Trump doing an about face on it is center to the idea that Democrats are pedophile, satanic, monsters.
Pizzagate, the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's Democrats, and that's the thing. It's Democrats, and the idea, and they have convinced themselves that it is true. Like, they have convinced
And it's
themselves
only Democrats.
that it's only Democrats, and that it's true, that it's reality. And for him to say that it's not true, or for him to say that, I don't have the information, or the information doesn't
Right.
exist,
Or
like,
it's Comey and Obama. Yeah.
The gaslighting.
Well, it's just it's the gaslighting. It can only go so far.
Yeah.
And I think, and I think also, like, the cognitive dissonance can only go so far. You can't. That there's a breaking point to all of it.
This feels like the first media story that Trump doesn't have control over.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
And you're still seeing, though, let me show you guys this. This is some tweets from MAGA people. It's not me, it's MAGA. This is going to be a segment we do.
It's not me, it's MAGA.
Okay, so this is from Azalea Banks, classic. Azalea.
Sure, of course.
Absolutely not. This is from November 7th, 2024.
Right, 2024.
Absolutely not. No sympathy for pedophiles and sex offenders.
Okay, what's she saying now in 2025?
2025, July 26th. Okay, in Donald Trump's defense,
Oh, no. What?
effing
Whoa.
14-year-old girls was really only made a social taboo in the 1990s.
Whoa, that's more than an about face. That's, that's
Here we go. February
Jesus.
2025 from Joey Manarino. The Epstein files come tomorrow. Any living people on that list should be immediately jailed.
Okay.
And then now July 23rd, 2025. Being in the Epstein file does not mean you're a pedophile.
What?
I mean, there's just more. This is from this guy, Masculine Based. Epstein's list time for justice, January 3rd, 2025. Here he is, July 16th, 2025. Same playbook, different hoax. Trump's not taking the bait.
What?
Okay, Trump.
Okay, what?
And then it's like there's more and more
They
and
just all
more
keep-
of this. And then, of course, my favorite is House Speaker Mike Johnson calls for transparency on Epstein.
Oh, okay.
That's in July 16th, 2025. July 22nd,
A week leave.
less than a week. Mike Johnson adjourns lawmakers to an early recess to avoid voting on the Epstein release.
Wow.
Interesting.
What could be the difference?
Well, I mean, the Democrats were trying really hard to, because they were doing that thing where, you just put it in every single bill.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
every single
yeah,
bill.
Cory Booker did that.
Yeah.
Like renaming a post office.
Yeah,
the
right.
Epstein
right,
post
right.
office renaming
This money
bill.
is tied to opioid funds. Let's attach also releasing the Epstein files to this. Can I get a vote?
But the things that there are so many, like the cognitive dissonance that some of these supporters are trying to display, they're still trying to hold on really, really hard to
tight.
it, where
Right.
it's like that now they're having to make this choice of like admit that, that we were right about Trump or support child molestation. And
Right.
a lot of them are going straight for child molestation. But
Yes.
so,
That is pretty wild.
like
Yeah.
Azalea
Quite the
Banks
switch.
straight up when it was like, oh yeah,
It was fine.
it's fine. You
In
know,
the
it was a-
90s.
it was-
In the
it was
90s.
okay. You know,
Right.
which
It's the 90s.
Yeah.
like, and we've had to actually deal with that on No Dogs in Space a fair amount because we cover a lot of rock stars from the 1970s
Right.
who slept with a lot of teenage girls.
Yeah.
But we don't say it's fine.
Yeah.
Like we say like, no, it was f***ed up then and it's f***ed up now.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just you have to make the decision on whether or not that makes a difference to you or not. Like you have to make a decision of like whether or not, David Bowie having sex with a 15-year-old girl makes it where you never could listen to David Bowie again. You can make that choice. And these people are making that same choice about Donald Trump. Like,
Yeah.
well, I do have to I'm a big fan,
Right.
and I love what he does, and I don't want to live life without him. I
Right.
don't want to live life without Trump in my life. I can't do it. So, f***ing teenage girls is fine,
Wow.
right? It's all right. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
It's just,
But
It's like a switch.
there are others that are not.
yeah.
Right. And there are Republicans, congressmen. They are joining the Democrats to try to get these votes out.
Thomas Massey.
Thomas Massey is one. I mean, even Marjorie Taylor Greene, who
Oh,
I
yeah.
never agree
Yeah.
with,
Oh, yeah.
is even out there joining the Democrats on a lot of issues right now, but specifically this one. And it's so interesting because you pointed it out, Seena, with Elon's tweet, right? Elon saying, I mean, he's kind of backtracked a little bit, but right off the bat, he was like, Trump's in the files. That's why it's not coming out. And then it's interesting to see Kash Patel and Dan Bundajing just like stepping back, right, entirely from the whole thing. Because like, does it, the suicide tape, and then there was like a gap in the tape, right? The FBI
Yeah.
released. I mean, it's just...
Well, that Adobe Premiere Pro day was a big day for people in the video
in the
production.
video editing world.
In the video production
Because I'm just
space.
like, I didn't know they could track all my edits.
Yeah, I was like, wow, someone doesn't know how to clear the metadata. Also,
Yeah,
big day for
yeah.
Upwork, Adobe Premiere Pro editors.
Yes.
They had a really big day. Also, I think when it comes to that, there was just a minute of missing footage. And I'm not used to, like, I don't know, how
But
to
a
strangle
minute.
someone. I think it does take more than a minute. My theory,
Oh,
And
right.
this
And
is
you've said this on the show.
tinfoil. Yeah,
You said it.
someone came over and was just like, it's time.
Yeah.
Yep. And,
And, it was like,
and I sent you something on Instagram while you were in Japan, so you probably didn't
Oh,
see
yeah.
it. That William Barr was in New York City on the
Is
day.
that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was in New
Wow.
York City making speeches and whatnot. And
he made a
I couldn't
speech.
imagine a better guy to go in and be like, my daddy gave you your first big break. I'm giving you your last big break. This is your way up, buddy. Here's the underwear. Bye.
Yeah,
this-
and now that there are rumors. Sources are saying within the DOJ and the FBI, and of course, this comes from the Daily Mail, so take it as you will. But on the other hand, it is very interesting that a very conservative
Yeah.
pro-Trump paper like the Daily Mail
Right.
is putting this out there. But sources have told within the FBI and the DOJ have told the Daily Mail that they are in possession of that missing minute. that missing minute does exist. That it's out there.
Oh my God.
But that's also sources say that tell the Daily Mail. So take that as you will.
It's like the Zapruder film of our time.
Yeah.
But if you put that together with the recent comments from Dan Bongino,
Hey,
like Dan Bongino, like
I'm hiding footage over here.
like,
Right.
well, he is doing the thing where like he's got his face like he's like Nicolas Cage in
I
8mm.
Yeah.
Like he's going like, I saw something and I don't know what to do. And it's so bad. He wrote, what I have learned in the course of our properly predicated and necessary investigations into these aforementioned matters, talking about, the political weaponization of, the law enforcement and so on and so forth. He says, it has shocked me down to my core. We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned.
Wow.
So I don't know. I mean, because when you look at these people, okay, who is Dan Bongino?
Yeah.
He's a podcaster.
Yeah.
Right. I know.
He is a podcaster that has been made deputy director of the FBI.
FBI.
And you look at these people in Trump world and MAGA world, and I think a lot of them really do believe, and a lot of them are true believers, but a lot of them are also clout chasers.
Yeah.
Like they're people
Right.
who have glommed on to this Trump movement. The same thing happened with the Nazis. It happens in every movement like this. People see that there is a movement on the way up, and they attach themselves to it. And they don't truly believe in it, but they attach themselves to it because it's obviously popular and they see a way to make money. And so these people like Dan Bongino, they don't have loyalty to Trump himself. They have loyalty to the Trump brand. And those are two very different things.
Yes.
And if that Trump brand is getting very tarnished, it's getting tarnished more and more every day. And that, I think, is why you see people like Dan Bongino jumping ship. It's why you see Nick Fuentes
Oh, that's right.
jumping
Even that
ship.
guy.
Nick Fuentes saying the liberals were right.
Yeah.
We got had. Like
Wow.
this whole thing is bullshit. Like when you see Tucker Carlson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's like, you see these people jumping ship. Like these are the big names. These are the big guys. These are the shitheads who saw an opportunity, and they are seeing that opportunity slip away. They're getting out. They're selling high, as it were.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because then Trump throws them under the bus and calls them weaklings, right? Who are giving in to the liberal propaganda and the Democrats and Obama and Comey and all that stuff.
And you could tell Trump doesn't really know how to handle questions in the way that he's used to. So this is Virginia Guthrie talking in 2019 about how she was working at Mar-a-Lago and then got recruited from Epstein. Then you'll hear Trump talking on July 28th about Epstein and how he doesn't know her.
Right, recruited by Epstein, so he took her from Mar-a-Lago to the island.
To his enterprise.
His enterprise.
Because Epstein also had a Palm Beach house.
Gotcha.
And that's how Trump knew him. They were neighbors.
You gotta know your neighbors, right?
Right.
And then you'll hear Trump the next day on the 29th of July talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
And I think it's important to note she is a whistleblower, so she did go public as a victim.
Thank you.
But she has also committed suicide in her home country of Australia.
Well, it is alleged that she died by
Another
suicide
one of those.
because it is because there are many people that say she would never ever do that. That this is not something that she would do, and she wasn't taught. Like it was.
Oh, boy.
This one is very much a. There's a lot of really fishy shit surrounding her death.
Got it.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand, and I've been fighting that very world to this day, and I won't stop fighting. I will never be silenced until these people are brought to justice. So thank you all very much.
For years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help, and I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again, and I threw him out of the place.
Okay, so that was July 28th. Okay, now he's on Air Force One.
That's Monday, our this week.
This is now the 29th of July.
Tuesday.
Obviously. But just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women?
Were some of them
young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. but that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were.
Okay, I don't want to say.
In the spa.
In the spa.
Yeah, people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world in Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine, and then not too long after that, he did it again, and I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people, yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
Great spa.
It's not
Whoa.
like
Man.
the head greenskeeper got taken
Sure.
and recruited away.
Or the line cook.
It was it was a young woman that worked in the spa. Good thing Jeffrey Epstein had no use for a woman that worked in a spa.
Yeah, and stolen. What does he mean?
Is she property? Is it chattel?
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
what did he think was going to happen? Like, what did he think was happening? And also the timeline that he's talking about, like, it doesn't add up, because when she like he said that you're out of here, I never spoke with him again. Like, this whole thing happened. I think he said I never talked with him again. You're out of here. They continued a relationship for another 4 or 5 years after that.
Right.
So the timeline that he's talking about, what he's saying, it does not add up in any way whatsoever.
Well, what a bonkers clip. I mean, I know this is serious stuff, but this is why Trump can't go under oath, right? Because your lawyer just like, plead the fifth. It's like, I won't say, I can't say, but I'm going to say. And yeah, that was her. He stole her.
I don't know,
Also, what a great spot. Let me get in a plug.
One of the best in the world.
Great spa, soft towels.
Wow. It's and was it like Jeffrey Epstein was running a massage spa, like a health clinic or something? No, he was clearly doing nasty stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so he knew that Jeffrey Epstein was taking young girls from his spa and from his work. So that's the thing. Either way is bad. Either he didn't know and he's lying and he's trying to cover it up with this lie, or he's telling the truth right now and he did know that Jeffrey Epstein, who he knew, he said many times he likes young girls. I hear he likes young girls. He said that in the 90s?
Yep.
He knew that Jeffrey Epstein was a predator, and he was more concerned that this predator was taking good employees away from his business than he was about what Jeffrey Epstein was actually doing with these young girls, which completely negates QAnon's entire argument that Donald Trump is some sort of master savior that's coming to save all the children. It negates it all.
Wow.
It's gonna be great. Please pardon Ghislaine.
Oh, man.
Please pardon Diddy. Please pardon Ghislaine. I want to see it all come crumbling down.
Oh, my gosh.
So do you actually think that it's a legit pardoning Ghislaine, that this is a possibility?
Well, there was
his
a letter.
personal lawyer met with him, but his personal lawyer's now the deputy attorney general.
Well, the lawyer for Ghislaine sent a letter that was basically like, listen, hey, we're not gonna just we're not like, she doesn't need like media exposure. She doesn't need clout.
Yeah.
She needs clemency.
Yeah.
She needs a pardon.
Yeah.
She needs all of these things to happen. She needs the questions in advance. She needs to know everything that's going to happen. So there's a bunch of steps that would happen before, like there's going to have to be some sort of deal making. And then, of course, the deal making is going to involve never saying the name Donald Trump.
Yes.
Right.
And so what ends up happening? I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know if I actually don't think he's going to do it because there's too many hurdles.
Yeah.
Right. And you saying that on a Wednesday means he will pardon her on Friday. When this episode drops, that's how we do it here, folks.
That's how we do it. Inverse Seena investing.
Right.
All right, guys, that was incredible. I know we did a lot on this, but there was so much to cover. And
It is a global story.
It is a global story. This man was an international man of crime and a total moral grifter.
Yes.
And it's hilarious that he was in bed with Donald Trump. And they were both moral grifters.
Well, and I think as far as this being a worldwide story, if there is, we know, when I say a list, I think what I mean is just, people for whom evidence exists that they were having sex with young girls with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
As a part of, Jeffrey Epstein set up sex with young girls. It's not just going to be people in America.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be America. It's not just going to be...
he had 4 banks, international banks.
It's going to be people from all over the world. It's going to be... There might be heads of state. Do you remember the Bunga Bunga room?
Oh, yeah.
In Italy?
Oh, my God, Berlusconi.
Berlusconi.
Yeah.
You think Berlusconi might have been involved in that?
Were there underage girls in the Bunga Bunga thing?
Yeah, Berlusconi was definitely...
Was it?
Troublemaker, yeah. For sure.
I don't know if it was underage.
He was Italy's Trump, basically.
I see him as having just a bunch of granny sex workers there.
Okay, well, we're giving him a lot of credit.
nonas.
Just a
Nonas.
bunch of nonas.
They're just kneading the bread. Nona's making noodles. Don't bother her, please.
Anyways, I'll stop picturing that.
Okay, very
let's
well.
go to
But
a-
I agree with Marcus,
Yeah.
and it brings it kind of full circle, right? A financial relationship can lead to other kinds of relationships
Yeah.
in the world of billionaires, and that's where Jeffrey Epstein parked his car.
Yep.
Anyways, thank you. God, yeah, what a mess. I'm Seena Ghaznavi, Travis Irvine, Marcus Parks. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Ukraine war. Back to some more.
Oh, right.
Just
Some
general-
lighter stuff.
Some lighter stuff.
Great.
All right, we'll be right back after this. This is the Foreign Report. Welcome back to the Foreign Report. I'm Seena Ghaznavi, Travis Irvine, Marcus Parks. We're all in the IRL studio today here at Last Podcast Network.
And also, please don't Stephen King me.
What happened?
Because I said that there's no Epstein client list.
Oh, boy.
because Stephen King came out and said,
Yeah.
there's no Epstein client list. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, everybody's saying, Stephen King's on the list.
What?
He's on the list. That's
Yeah.
so
Right.
just because I'm saying
Well,
there's
where
no-
do you go when there's a network break?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I think if Marcus was on the list, he would have been working at Abercrombie and Fitch and sucked in to that world. I mean,
Yeah, you would have been a team.
we were in high school.
Yeah. He recruited me from Rochester, Texas, where
Man,
the nearest
the network goes deep.
The nearest Abercrombie and Fitch was in Lubbock, 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's no, I'm not on the list.
Well,
Okay, good.
while Trump is trying to avoid talking about Jeffrey Epstein, he is talking about Vladimir Putin and Russia and Ukraine.
Okay.
And he is saying stuff, and it's incredible what has been happening in this war. And I want to kind of go through the phases of America's relationship with Ukraine over the last 30 years and kind of how we have influenced them and how the world has influenced them to first disarm in the 90s after they were independent, then promote democracy and kind of say good job guys all the time. Then in the 2010s, it was sanctions against Russia and symbolic aid and stuff like that. All these kind of soft things that never really gave them backing until Russia invaded. Then it was oh, geez, there's a
Right.
full-scale war on.
Right.
And just this last week, Donald Trump said that he would start putting secondary tariffs on all of Russia's trading partners in the next 10 days if Russia/Vladimir Putin does not get into a ceasefire with Ukraine.
Oh.
Does that make sense? The secondary tariffs. So anyone that does
Yes.
trade with Russia
Gets
is
tariffed.
going to get tariffed.
Okay. Right. I have been reading that Trump is mad at Putin right now. They're fighting.
They are.
They're
Yeah.
fighting.
But
So,
he's called Putin crazy
okay.
and noting, quote, there's a bit of an issue with him.
He took people from my spa. And as we all know, that's my red line.
He took my waiters.
He took my line cook.
So there's so much that's been happening. So I want to give you a little bit of context and history that will come up to today because I think it's important for us to know whenever these things are happening, we think about them almost in a vacuum because we read an article.
Right.
But where it comes from is, and Trump has come full circle now. Trump, let me be clear, Trump is now like every other president that's come before him.
It's very interesting.
Right. Obama had the same thing, whereas like Obama was trying to make peace with Vladimir, and then eventually it was like, I got to tell Vladimir he can't do that.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, don't cross my red line. It's like, well, now you cross my red line. And it's just like, what do you do with this guy?
Exactly. And then, they all think they can handle it. I guess there's a certain level of, insanity you have to be president.
And
So
he
you
would go
think-
further back. Reminds me of George W. Bush looking into Vladimir Putin's eyes and seeing his soul.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
He took him on the boat in Kennebunkport.
Yeah, I think what all this says is that we do not know how to handle a KGB agent.
Yeah, right?
Like KGB agents are the most cryptic, mysterious people on Earth.
Yes.
God damn, they're scary.
Until now, when Trump just says, he's crazy.
Wow, I was really wrong about this guy.
Right.
So we've talked about Ukraine before, but why is Ukraine so important? And it goes actually all the way back to like ancient roots of Russia. Kiev Rus was founded in the 9th century, which is where Russians and Ukrainians trace all of their ancestral roots back. And so after Ukraine got independence in 1991, and that's where all their Soviet nukes were basically held. Almost
really?
the large majority of them. So much so that Ukraine at that time was the 3rd largest nuclear power.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! After the breakup of the Soviet Union, because they're just keeping them all there with all the grain they also had. It's just like, we keep our bread, we keep our nukes. What do you want? It's Ukraine.
And their nuclear power plants. I mean, remember, Chernobyl's
right.
in
Yeah.
Ukraine.
That's right.
And so, mo nukes, mo problems.
Oh boy.
And there was a slew of agreements and negotiations between NATO, Russia, and the U.S. to figure out what to do with this new independent country that is the 3rd largest nuclear power. Because if you put your like 1990s U.S. cap on, which according to Azalea Banks promotes pedophilia,
It doesn't promote pedophilia. It just wasn't a social taboo, Seena.
Right,
It
it's
didn't
the
promote it. It just
90s.
wasn't frowned upon. I mean,
but
come on.
you think, and it's the same, it's almost the same today in a way where the United States sees a country that has a nuclear power and they're like, well, we can't allow that.
Right.
We got to be the big dogs.
Sure.
And so the United States and the UK were all saying to, the Ukrainians, we'll have your back. And in 1994, 3 years after 90% of the Ukrainians voted for independence, they also agreed to give up their nuclear weapons 3 years later. And they signed this thing called the Budapest Memorandum, and they agreed to security assurances, which is really important as a lawyer. Get it in writing, legal writing,
Right.
guaranteed. And that didn't happen.
Okay.
What happened here is that they said, we got your back, but there was no actual legal guarantee in this memorandum.
Well, define back. They didn't do it. Right. What is that? Yeah.
What is the back?
Well, I mean, we really have to remember the 90s post-Soviet feeling, like the
Exactly.
feeling, like
Yeah.
that, and that's what I think that's where this comes from, and what all this gets caught up in is, the post-Soviet feeling, the fall of the Berlin Wall. History's over. Like
We did it, everybody.
we're at the
World
end.
peace is coming.
World
Yeah.
peace is coming. Everyone's feeling good. Promises are good enough. The worst thing that America had to deal with was the president got a blowjob. Everything
Right.
is
Yeah.
everything's fine. Like, yeah, we'll get to it eventually. Russia, never gonna have to worry about them again. Like,
Thank
Right.
God they're cool now.
yeah, exactly.
Boris Yeltsin's their president. He's drunk and fun.
Yeah, yeah. We've got glasnost. We know everything.
Yeah.
Like, this is an era of cooperation, and man, the Soviet Union, we're never gonna have to deal with it ever again.
And what in reality was happening was, oh, we're coming back.
Ah!
They were plotting from the very beginning. So you look at 2004, the Orange Revolution. 10 years later, from 1994, the Orange Revolution, Ukraine, sparked by a rigged presidential election there with Yanukovych. And so he ended up winning that election. He was heavily backed by Russia, and there was a lot of politics of coercion that happened there.
And Putin had taken over Russia at that point, right? 99, I believe. He won
Yeah.
his first election and
Yeah.
then just never stopped winning elections by 110%.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, after the Chechenian false flag.
Yes.
That's right. Okay, so no more Boris Yeltsin at that point.
And then
Fun,
he-
drunk president is gone.
Gone.
Evil, crazy president now in place.
And this is where you start to see the Cold War may be over, but like cold election war is now
Right.
beginning.
Covert.
And this is like
And the
where-
information war is beginning.
exactly. This is how a KGB officer knows how to make a move, right?
Right.
They know how to make and influence things. Opposition leaders against Yanukovych were getting threats of blackmail days before this election was happening. And so Ukraine as a whole now, seeing all this happening, is, of course, more interested in NATO. And this whole NATO membership is going to be a stress point for Russia over and over again because they are the firing line. They are the divide between East and West in Europe, right? And the Western philosophy.
Ukraine is the dividing line.
Yes, sorry.
Gotcha.
Ukraine is that line between them. So this is this huge deal that they need to figure out, and Russia is trying to grab Ukraine and pull them back in constantly. If you look back at 2014, the Crimea annexation, that island, the peninsula rather, on the southern part of Ukraine, they just took it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they started this war in the eastern part of Ukraine, the Donbass region, which we've talked about on the show before. And then in 2014, you also had Yanukovych do this rejection of an EU association deal. And so the EU was doing all these things. It was grabbing more countries, it was getting bigger and stronger and all these things. But when they said, hey, we're not going to associate with the EU, protests erupted everywhere. People were like, hey, man, you're messing with our economy. This is bad. We need to be part of the EU. But Moscow, in their wisdom, realized that there's destabilization there. And so that's when they were able to annex Crimea. And they were also started this Donbass region war. And so, again, NATO is the question. How is NATO going to help? What's America doing? Nothing. We're literally doing nothing. And so Obama is president at this point. And it's critical, like they didn't really do anything of actual value to help the Ukrainians in the Donbass region. Obama said that they didn't want to get involved, of course, right? Because he's in Afghanistan. All this stuff is happening.
And I think with Obama, too, like, I think there was a reluctance to really go hard with Vladimir Putin because you remember during the 2008 elections, remember the debate? Everyone made fun of Mitt Romney for saying
2012.
2012. Yeah. In 2012, everyone made fun of Mitt Romney for coming out and saying the biggest threat to world peace right now is Vladimir Putin.
That's right.
Everyone called him an idiot. They said that, like Obama, I think even like chuckled at him.
He did a joke.
He did a joke. It's like, Mitt, by the way, the 1980s called, they want their foreign policy back.
That's what it was. Yes. Yeah. And
classic line.
Yeah.
Didn't age well, but fun in 2012.
Pretty rough.
Yeah, fun in 2012. But now it is, we are seeing that Mitt Romney was entirely right. And I think Obama didn't want to admit that.
He did not want to admit that. And he sent, do you know what he did to help the Ukrainians? Again, this is the thing. When the United States says we got your back, I would say don't believe them.
Okay.
And this is what we do to people we say we got their back. We sent the Ukrainians that were fighting in the Donbass region, they're the eastern part of Ukraine, helmets and MREs, those little meals in a packet.
Oh,
Rations? K-rations?
wow.
Wow.
That's cool.
So then you
Do
have...
you eat the meal out of the helmet? What do you do? How does this
They're
work?
like, American support is coming, all right! And then it's like, what is this?
You need a microwave to make it. It's pretty nice.
Did Blue Apron just show up?
Right.
I asked for missile. They send me dog food.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's Ukraine. They got microwaves. It's the home of the nukes. Come on.
And then, of course, Trump comes in on his first term. He's like, Vlad's my buddy. He
Right,
doesn't do
of
anything.
course.
He loves him.
Ukraine is this whole corrupt place. And then he gets on the phone with Zelensky and asks him this favor about Hunter Biden and then the laptop. I was also thinking, like, I know they knew who Hunter Biden was, but I can imagine someone in the staff of the Ukrainian leadership being like, Hunter Biden? Are we hunting Mr. Biden? We're going hunting?
Like Goodwill Hunting. Good movie.
Love that movie.
Why? What is he talking about?
Robin Williams is not from here.
Yeah.
Despite popular concern.
And again, Ukraine wants defense. They need defense.
Yeah.
And no one's giving it to them until the 2020s. Biden's in office and Russia actually invades.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, I do think that it's one really interesting thing is that, that Trump actually provided more lethal assistance to Ukraine than Obama did, than anyone did. Like, even though he's saying that he loves, like, Trump actually did give Javelin anti-tank missiles, and actually he he was the first U.S. president to actually give lethal aid to the Ukraine.
And that, I think a lot of that was because the neocons were still running his first
The
administration.
first term, right? Because that was congressionally. That's what the whole
Yeah.
phone call to Zelensky was about and why it was so controversial. Trump was saying, in exchange for the aid that Congress has already voted to give you, I want this and this and this on laptops and Hunter Biden and things like that.
But I don't think that it was I don't think that was the plan. I don't think the plan was like, I'll give them assistance and then I can ask them for Hunter Biden stuff. I think he gave them assistance and then he started to ask himself, what can I
Yeah, he's
what,
like,
what can I get out of
why
this?
are we giving them stuff? I didn't get anything.
Right,
I
right,
didn't
right.
get anything.
And then Giuliani's like, well, ask him about this, this, and this. And then there we are.
Yep.
Perfect call.
Yeah.
And then so we're into this second Trump term, and he's trying to initially get Ukraine to surrender and accept all these things. And frankly, I think we said at the beginning in this show that like Ukraine was going to have to accept, losing a huge chunk of their territory, all of these things.
Yeah.
And now he's like done a complete about face. And by the way, Trump has not done an about face because he's fallen in love with Ukraine.
No.
It's that Vladimir Putin stopped being nice to him.
Right.
It's that Vladimir Putin stopped like goosing him all the time and being like, hey, baby. This is the thing. And now that Trump got NATO countries to spend more of their GDP on self-defense, which you can take as a good thing that more countries are spending more. You can also take it as a bad thing because all these countries are now in a arms race because they all have to spend money on defense, which is like a whole other problem I think we're going to have to deal with. But now he loves NATO because the president of NATO calls him daddy.
Wow.
Literally calls him these people, again, there was never collusion. There was only telling Trump that he's cute and that he's smart and that he's really a great businessman. You don't need to collude with this man.
No, you just need to say, like, I like the cut of your jib. And that's it. That's it. You told him, I like the way you do things, man. You really get things done.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, the piss tapes aren't real.
No.
Like, that didn't, like, there's no compromise. There's nothing like that. There's no collusion. It really is just, hey, I like you.
Yeah.
And now he's not, this quote that you put, please, don't forget about this quote. This quote.
Trump said about Vladimir Putin, he's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless. If that's the saddest thing, you could see like a high school girl saying that about like a boyfriend that just broke up with her. He's nice all the time, but it turns out it's meaningless.
It's so nice, but it doesn't mean anything. Nothing. It's almost like he found out that Trump, like, it's one of those things where, you accidentally hear, like, your friends laughing about you in the next room.
Yeah.
I think he heard Putin making fun of him, like, overheard Putin making fun of him to another guy. He's like, but he was my best, best friend. He's the only one.
We exchanged friendship bracelets.
It really is that. Like, I think it's that simple.
Yeah. Well, I think I think every world leader deals with Trump in a way that is begrudging and in a way is like, I have to deal with you. And he can feel that. He knows when people don't respect him.
Oh,
like, he knows it. But Putin was so good at fooling him into thinking like, hey, buddy, I got your back. I'm your guy. Like all the rest of these guys, they all treat me like shit too. They all treat me like an asshole.
Right.
I get you. Me and you,
Same
we're
page.
copacetic. We're like this. And Trump recently has found out he doesn't have any friends. And that's, I think, the biggest thing. And that's how big of a child he is.
And if you look at even the trade deals that were done with the EU and Japan, all of these leaders know, to your point, how to deal with Trump by just complimenting him, saying that he's great, saying all these things, and then they get favorable terms on their deal. By the way, this EU trade deal, we're not covering it today, but just so you know, the tariffs got lower on the EU. They went down. So he's net free trade on the EU. So whatever deal people want to make about like Trump's doing whatever, like it's a good deal and whatever, but like we didn't need to do it in the first place.
Right.
It didn't need to happen.
That's the move.
But
Right?
it's like I just okay. Let me wrap this up. I'm losing my mind again. We've just been talking about this man. July 14th, there was the 50-day ultimatum that he did.
Right. Ceasefire.
Same thing, secondary. But then again, he got his feelings hurt. And so July 28th, he said 10 days. And this is where we kind of sit today, waiting to see what's happening. And now he's back into this whole, Putin is a murderous man hell-bent on, the vision of making Russia Soviet again.
Wow. Full circle is
Full circle. Whew. So I don't know. I guess maybe I want to close with this question for you guys. How important do you think is Ukraine? If it falls, how bad do you think the collateral or the subsequent or consequential damages are to the rest of Europe and the world?
Catastrophic.
Yeah.
World War III.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of other authoritarian regimes are looking at Russia and looking at how we deal with their encroachment on a free country into Ukraine. And I think if we allow Ukraine to fall, and if we say like, oh no, it's fine. Like if Ukraine falls without a fight, then it's horrible. If Ukraine falls with a fight, I think it can kind of go like that. Then it's not as bad. Like if it just finally ends up like Russia just ends up winning, then that's one thing. If we let Russia win, then that's something different altogether. And I think you let Russia win, you let China take Taiwan. You let all of these other things, you let all of these other regimes take their little things, and once they start taking their little things, they're going to start taking the big things. And when they start taking the big things, what's the term for shit's
yeah.
I think that's the
Classic
clinical.
foreign policy
I think
term.
that's the foreign policy term that I'm looking for. I think Kissinger coined that term.
We've had ambassadors on that have used that term.
Yeah. Shit's so I think it has to be like there has to be a fight, and if we're and it looks like thankfully it looks like we're putting it up.
We are definitely putting up the fight, and I think to your point, there needs to be a fight. Mm-hmm. If not, then all these other countries, these authoritarian countries, are looking at what's happening.
Right.
Travis, what do you think?
If you let Russia take Ukraine, then China takes Taiwan. Next thing you know, they're taking workers from your spa. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my red line. Bad guy. Meaningless. Nice, but meaningless.
It's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless. All right, when we come back, we're going to do a little JD Vance Corner.
Let's hit him up.
Oh, my God. We're going to do a quick JD Vance Corner for Travis Irvine, Marcus Parks. I'm Seena Ghaznavi. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Forward Report. I'm Seena Ghaznavi, Travis Irvine, Marcus Parks, IRL studio. We're here with the JD Vance Corner.
In a world where no one's nice to Donald Trump anymore, there's still one man who's buttering his bread and carrying his water, and that's Vice President and eventual MAGA movement hopeful JD Vance, everybody. He's still looking at trying to inherit the movement in 2028, so he's got to do everything he can domestically and on a foreign policy level to carry Trump's water. And I pulled a clip, Seena. I sent this to you while you were on the plane back from Japan.
Is that right?
My hopes. I have no one else to send clips to except Seena at this point. So obviously, like everyone, every single press conference right now is turning to Epstein. So to bring it all full circle, let's see what JD Vance is saying about the Epstein controversy, how Trump is handling it. Here's JD actually at a press conference. I believe this is in his home state, my home state as well, Ohio. He is touting the big, beautiful bill and why it doesn't completely screw over everyone in rural areas, although it actually does.
Oh, yeah.
And
Say goodbye to your hospitals.
Yes, exactly. So JD is carrying water not just on a domestic front, but also, let's see what he's going to say to deflect the old Jeffrey Epstein question.
There are some protesters outside accusing the GOP of protecting pedophiles, and we're wondering what you think are the reasons the U.S. government should shield the client list of Epstein from the public, and what you have to say about any relevance to that here today.
Well, let me say just a couple of things. First of all, The president has been very clear. We're not shielding anything. The president has directed the attorney general to release all credible information and, frankly, to go and find additional credible information related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. He's been incredibly transparent about that stuff, but some of that stuff takes time. You've got to assemble that stuff. You've got to compile that stuff. You've got to redact some victims' names so that you protect the victims. But the president has been very clear. He wants full transparency. He's asked that from the attorney general, and I know, because I talk to her all the time, the attorney general is hard at work on that issue right now. But I think I got to make an observation that there's an interesting thing about this case that the American media seems to totally ignore. For 4 years, under Joe Biden's Department of Justice, the media didn't give a damn about the Epstein files or about the Epstein case. For literally 20 years, the story about this scumbag, and he is a scumbag pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein, he's dead now, but for 20 years, you had Obama and George W. Bush's Department of Justice go easy on this guy. They didn't fully investigate the case. They didn't show any curiosity about the case. And now Donald J. Trump is asking his Department of Justice to show full transparency. And somehow that's a criticism of Donald J. Trump and not Barack Obama and George W. Bush. If you want to criticize the people who aren't showing full transparency, you ought to go after the administrations that went easy on Jeffrey Epstein, the administrations that concealed this case for 20 years, and the administrations that failed to show full transparency. Donald J. Trump, I'm telling you, he's got nothing to hide. His administration has got nothing to hide, and that's why he's been an advocate for full transparency in this case. He's going to keep on being an advocate for full transparency. But while we're focused on that case, Donald J. Trump is also worried about making sure these great workers get more take-home pay and better jobs, that's the focus of the administration.
Yeah.
All right. Look, this clip highlights why JD is so good at what he does and why he is where he is, and also why I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Because he took the thing that we all know Donald Trump is doing and projected upon the presidents who came before Donald Trump as if they were the problem the entire time, but they're not the problem. They're not the current problem.
Also,
well, it's not just JD Vance. I mean, this is also
this is the MAGA movement.
It's the MAGA movement. But what? And that's the thing, is that they think that is some sort of trump card, so to speak. But the thing is, I'm also pissed at the Obama administration for not investigating this more. I'm also pissed at the George W. Bush administration.
Or Biden or whoever.
They also they all fucked it up because there are people from both sides of the aisle involved in this case, and none of them want it to be made public. The only difference is that Biden did not base his entire career and base his entire political movement, his entire ideology on this case. It's different. Biden tried to hide it. Obama tried to hide it. No, Trump's just like, no, we're bringing it out, and then he sees like,
right.
They want to bring all of it up.
Not all of it.
Vance is like, it takes time to redact the names.
Trump's name, specifically Trump's name. Well, that's the thing, right? And then JD goes on and says, this president has called for this, and this. It's like, yeah, but calling for it doesn't mean he's actually doing it. And then you look at a press conference, and it's like, sure, I guess Trump is transparent in that if you ask him a question on Air Force One about specifically did Epstein take this girl, he will say, I don't want to say. And then eventually he does say. So sure, if that's the Trump transparency, I guess I'll take it, where he accidentally admits things when he says he's not going to.
Which, by the way, imagine colluding with a man like that. Anyways, go.
Right.
Jesus
Are
Christ.
you writing down notes in this collusion?
and as far as their attempts at deflection, their attempts to look at the Obama administration, what I love about it is that Donald Trump is still finding ways to insult JD Vance while doing it. Because he posted, and this is where we are today because it's so stupid, but Trump posted a meme posted a meme of it's Obama in the Bronco replacing
OJ Simpson.
Yeah, and Trump's in one of the police cars in the back. It's got his head photoshopped. Vance is also photoshopped into one of the cars, but it's Fat Vance.
It's Fat Meme Vance.
It's Fat Meme Vance.
With the curly hair and the fat face. I also sent that to Seena while he was flying from Japan.
It is.
It's so funny.
It's the meme that some like foreigner was trying to get into the country and he got his phone
on
and he got
his
like
phone.
rejected or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the meme that JD Vance hates so much, and then it's literally
I bet you
and then
Trump
the guy he sucks
showed
up
it to
to.
someone like, look at JD.
He looks great. He's actually gained weight. I've said he needs to gain some weight, and he looks very much like a cop. Look at him there. We're chasing Obama. We love it. I'm gonna tweet it.
Incredible.
And has Trump ever thought that maybe JD feels about him the same way that Trump feels about Putin?
I can't wait for that.
Do you think?
It's meaningless.
That realization. Trump, some people are nice to you, but it's meaningless. But I'm nice to you, and it's real.
Yes, I called you America's Hitler. But now
But that was meaningless.
that was meaningless. Now I love you.
Aww.
Just love me back. All right, one more Vance thing. What else we got?
No,
that-
that was it.
Oh,
That was
okay,
it.
fantastic.
We'll close out with that.
Amazing. Marcus Parks.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Thanks for getting the poison out,
I
brother.
love doing this show so much. It really did. Like, I feel, but the 6 ounces lighter. Like,
Nice.
the 6 ounces of modern American political poison has been expelled from my system.
Our studio's a lot like a spa.
Yeah.
You just sweat it out.
Yeah, Adam was stolen from Mar-a-Lago.
Don't take Adam, though. If you take Adam, we got problems.
Adam was working the towel room at Mar-a-Lago, and we took him.
We took him. Fair square.
All right, everyone. Send us an email of those. You guys have been commenting so kindly on Spotify and YouTube. Keep it up. I'm not reading any of them. I'm not reading any of the comments that are very nice. But we love doing this show. We'll be back next week. Travis Irvine, Marcus Parks. I'm Seena Ghaznavi. We'll see you next time.
I'll be back in a month. I love doing this show.
Yeah. We'll be back in a month.
Oh, boy.
Later, everybody.